So it's a very crucial point also within our transformation to always know whom are you talking to, what kind of group are we handling with at the moment, and what is the right initiative to reach these groups, and what are the different initiatives to reach the different needs of these groups.
Hello and welcome to the Data Culture Podcast. I'm Carsten Bange, founder and CEO of Bark, and my guest today is Christiane Busche. She is driving the analytical transformation at the insurance company HDI. What we will learn from her is what she did there. How did she drive a successful transformation to using more data analytics, creating more value from data analytics in an organization? HDI takes a very human-centric approach, which obviously fits very well into our thinking here at Bark about data culture and the importance of data culture. So we'll learn why they think this is so important, but also what the challenges are in this type of transformations. But we will not talk only about challenges, but also a lot about solutions. So we learn how did they approach this transformation, whom did they talk to, and we learn a lot about one of the key initiatives they took, the so-called Leaders Camp, which proved to be a highly effective and successful vehicle to drive this analytical transformation. We end the conversation with other initiatives they also took, so we get a very good picture on what worked, what didn't work, and how to drive successfully analytical transformation. Enjoy this episode. Hi, Christiane. Great to have you on my podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Christiane, you are driving the analytical transformation at HDI, an insurance company. And that should be our main topic for the day or for this episode. And I would like to start with a very general question. So why do you care about analytical transformation? Or maybe a bit broader, the question is, why do you think any organization should care about analytical transformation?
Yes, of course. So to me, AI or the analytics transformation is something that is not just happening within one or two center of excellences. At the end of the day, I'm convinced that analytics will affect everyone and every line of business and every working life that we can imagine of. So I think as it's affecting so many people, we really have to think about these people and see that we accompany them through this whole transformation and through everything that is changing.
Absolutely. So what you are saying is, in my words, we have to care about data culture in the organization, since data and analytics affects everyone. And so the culture, how we approach this, is so important. From your concrete experience in your company, is this happening? Is it already affecting everyone, or is it more like a journey or work in progress?
I think it's always a journey. I think you would never have a point where you say, okay, we're done now. So it's an ongoing process that is not really ending. But when it comes to AI and analytics, you hear all the buzzwords, all the technologies that are in place, all of the changes, etc. But I think what is very, very important that we drive a human-centric approach, that we always see the people who are dealing with these technologies, who have to see, okay, how can I use AI or analytics to bring value to my everyday business? And this is an approach that is extremely important to us. And this is also the approach that we are driving, a very human-centric transformation, because we think if the co-working between analytics, AI, and the human is not working well, the value is lagging, right? So this is why we really try to have a good combination of AI and humans cooperating together, working together to bring more efficiency.
Yeah, obviously I really like that, the human-centric approach. So you're saying the transformation is happening obviously in technology. So we have something new with AI, for example, but obviously also in many other domains like data, providing data, volumes of data, latency of data delivery, and so on. So a lot is happening in technology, but you're saying your main focus of an analytical transformation is actually the humans. Is that a fair understanding?
Absolutely. And I think what is very special about this transformation is maybe also other than, for example, the digital transformation is that we are dealing with lots of unknown, right? If you are, for example, using ChatGPT, etc., it's extremely hard to understand what is happening in the background. So this is a kind of new insecurity that we are facing now because people don't really know how to handle this. And the trust is actually missing. The trust in the pathologies, the trust in everything that is happening behind the doors that can only hardly understand. And when it comes to lacking trust, we all know that it's hard to really co-work together. So I think this is something that we really have to keep in mind and we have to see. And we have to do our best to close the gap a little bit between these insecurities with really using these technologies and the human insecurities that are coming along here, that we have to take care about this. And this is something that is, to me or from my experience, a new situation, actually, because it's hard to explain and it's very hard to understand what is exactly happening.
So you're saying there's an insecurity coming from lack of understanding, or maybe a technology that looks like a black box, so we don't really understand it. Do you see other problems here? So other challenges that we need to overcome?
Well, first of all, I think when it comes to AI and analytics, there are lots of buzzwords. Sometimes it's really hard for people to understand or to really know, okay, but what does that mean for me now in my daily business? I hear analytics, I hear AI, I hear that Gen AI is taking over. So is it also taking over my job, or what is happening here? And it's a technology I don't really deeply understand. So, I think besides the fact that it's hard to really understand the technologies here, also the fact that you hear it everywhere and you're not really sure what it will change in the future. It is something that is also very important, and also hearing the buzzwords everywhere, seeing it in the media, etc., and not really knowing what it does happen or what it does mean for each and every individual, right? And from my experience, when people start working with these technologies, they're overwhelmed by the possibilities they see here. And like, for example, a human conversation with an AI is something that is extremely new. And of course, obviously, bringing more questions up.
Now, I would say not everyone has to understand the mechanics of a machine learning model, for example. So obviously, we have different approaches, maybe, but definitely different types of people. How do you take this into account?
Yes, I think you said it in a very right way. We have different types of people. We have different target groups. We have different roles that we are talking to. And one major thing is to understand your target groups, define who are you talking to, what are the different needs, and also what are the different roles within the company. Because maybe an executive would need to deal differently with the technologies than a colleague from sales and marketing, for example. So you really have to define what are your target groups, what are the insecurities maybe here, and what is the knowledge that these target groups should gain to really tackle these challenges. So it's a very crucial point also within our transformation to always know whom are you talking to, what kind of group are we handling with at the moment, and what is the right initiative to reach these groups. And what are the different initiatives to reach the different needs of these groups.
To get a little bit more concrete, how many groups did you identify? Can you do that so that to break it down into like buckets or to classify your user groups?
Yes. So within our transformation, we were defining 4 roles that we are seeing here. First of all, the analytics professionals, right? The ones who can deal with analytics, who can write an algorithm or the programming languages, who would really need individual training to really be up to date with all the technologies coming in. Then we have our analytics leaders, so our executives and managers who have a role model position within the company, who are very important to us as well. Then we have a group of like early adopters. They are called our analytics translators, who are not within the center of excellence, but who are located in the businesses, having the business knowledge, but also who are interested in the topic of AI and analytics, and kind of building the bridge between the center of excellence and the businesses. And last but not least, we said it in the beginning, analytics will affect everyone. So we also see our analytics consumers, who are actually everyone within a company. So those are our 4 main roles that we have defined and that we are talking to individually and with very own tailor-made initiatives.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned many times we. So we did it, we talked to them. Who's we?
We is a group of people, right? So on the one hand, obviously, I am located in the data analytics team at our company. So as an analytics transformation manager, I'm directly in the center of excellence here. But of course, it's always teamwork, right? So we are also in touch with our human resources department, people and development departments, communication departments. So it's a teamwork of various teams coming together here to just join and to have a teamwork for the company here, because it's impossible to do it as a 2-person team. Or whatever. So it's a joint venture, actually.
Okay, but you are basically driving it with a very small team.
Yes.
And then taking the initiatives. And maybe just to get a little bit more context, how many people work at HDI and how big is this analytics team in overall?
So we are talking about more than 3,500 colleagues at HDI Global, and the global already said it. We are working with a very global audience, and yes, our analytics team is now a team of 2, sometimes 3. So also here, we're a pretty small group organizing this, but we have great colleagues who are supporting in case we would need support. So yeah, it's a pretty small team, but I think it's still effective.
Absolutely. I mean, we had some exchange before. HDI is a member of our leaders circle here, and so I know a little bit what's going on, and I'm sure that you're quite effective. There's a lot going on, and I think that's something we should talk about. So, what did you do in a little bit more detail, so we get a better idea? And I also would like to learn from you what worked, what didn't work, because that's always also super interesting. So maybe let's start with this general question. Maybe you could give us an overview about the concrete initiatives, and then let's drill down into a few of them.
So as we just said, also when we started our transformation, we were asking ourselves, okay, who are we talking to? What are the needs of these groups? And where should we start? And what we did is when we started to roll out our plannings, our strategy, we decided to focus on our analytics translators and also on our analytics leaders, because we thought from a strategic way, it is a good idea to get especially the managers on board, to let them know what are the strategies, what are our goals within the companies. So this is why we have organized lots of initiatives for our analytics leaders and also for our analytics translators in terms of a community program, connecting them, giving them a platform. And this year also we could roll out huge initiatives for our analytics consumers So we have been organizing different initiatives for different types of target groups.
Did I get it right that you say your lesson learned is start with the leaders to get the, let's say, buy-in, maybe also resources to then roll out bigger programs to the consumers?
A huge learning was that when we were organizing our initiative, it was our so-called analytics leader camps. It was a 2-day event in person for all of our managers, where we could really exchange, where we could answer open questions, where we could show our strategy and the goals that we would like to reach, and especially make very clear that the analytics transformation will, at the end of the day, affect everyone in our company. It was a very solid base and a huge learning that having the support from the management is a very good thing to do when you are organizing further initiatives. Because, it's still sometimes the fact that people think, oh, analytics, I don't have to do anything with that. I don't know anything about it. And at the end of the day, it might not be important for my daily work. But having the support of the managers, also being a role model for their teams, encouraging them to visit these events, to maybe gain knowledge about analytics, was a very positive learning. Another learning was, because you said, okay, what worked, what didn't work, is that within our transformation, the personal touch and the personal exchange is extremely important. It's not working via email or online training, etc. This is added value for sure, but having the initial exchange, really the initial talks about strategies and goals and where we would like to go, and get the support also, the personal contact was extremely important here.
Interesting. I could imagine that it's harder than it sounds to get a lot of leaders, a lot of people in management positions to a 2-day, you call it leaders camps, sounds like a 2-day seminar, workshop, whatever. So my question is, did you also meet some resistance, or did you have a secret source to really get these people to attend for 2 days?
I think here we are coming to role modeling again, because we had the full support of our board members who are also attending these events. And I think that was a very strong sign. And also, you know my approach of people working with people. I think when it comes to these topics, it's really important that the messenger is really truly believing in what he or she is doing. And I think that was an asset, what was very important for us, and that when we were organizing this, it was really a hard project. And we are really convinced, and we are really standing behind everything that we are doing and behind this transformation. So it has a lot to do with authenticity, and there we are coming again back to the very human part of it: trust, working with people, talking, being open. And I think this very human side of organizing these initiatives is an extremely important one.
Yeah, I mean, I talk a lot about data leadership being a super important factor to be able to improve a data culture in an organization. And you just mentioned it. Yeah, so you had the support, but your board members also attended. And I think that's actually very crucial, because leading by example is always the crucial point here. Yeah, not only talking about it. So I really liked it that you said they attended, and I would think so that it definitely motivated a lot of people to also attend, because obviously if they do it, it's often a good idea to do it yourself too. So you at least have the same level of knowledge. So I think there's a lot of organizational dynamics going on with these leadership topics.
Definitely. We also made the experience here, from what we were talking about just shortly before. Lots of colleagues were asking, I'm planning to attend the leaders camp, but actually I don't have that many touch points with analytics. Am I the right person to join? And I always said, you are exactly the one we would like to meet here, because we want to deliver analytics in a very different way. And we want to show you that at the end of the day, everyone can be part of this transformation. And many colleagues came back to us afterwards and said, well, it was the best decision ever to go there, because now I know. Now I know how it affects me as a manager, and how can I be a role model now for my team. And that was actually helping us also for our other initiatives that we did. For example, this year we have organized a huge analytics summer festival, which was open for all of the colleagues who were interested to join. And here we are now, our leaders motivating their colleagues to go, even if they don't have that many touch points yet. But they knew from their experience, we're trying to deliver knowledge about analytics and AI in a different, very consumable way, so that everyone, no matter if truly beginner of the field or even already more professional, that everyone can learn and profit from these events. And that was actually helping us this year, obviously, to have the support from our managing colleagues who are really motivating everyone to go and join us.
Great. It's really super. So since these leaders camps obviously had such an important effect here on this whole transformation, I'd like to learn more. Can you share maybe a little bit what you did in those 2 days?
In those 2 days, basically, we were coming from everything we have set up in a strategic way. So really getting everyone on board. What is our strategy? What are our goals? What would we like to reach within the next 2, 3, or 5 years? How they can also join the whole transformation process in bringing up, for example, ideas for their businesses to improve their business with analytics. Also talking about what kind of roles and skills will we need in the future, also within the businesses. As we just said, analytics will not happen just in one center of excellence, but it will affect lots of business domains. So what could that mean for them as managers as well? And also at the end of those 2 days, we were working out action plans to see, okay, how can we go further now? How can we start to really live this transformation and go and get the teams to get started with that and to get the first touch points with that?
Did I get it right? Is this mostly like a workshop format?
Yes, it was a mixture actually of us giving input from our strategic goals, and also from everything that we have set up. And it had also some workshop sessions here. That's correct.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how many people attended, like an average, to get an idea about the group size? And how many did you do overall across the organization of these camps?
So we had the format open for 25 people max, because we thought it would be a good idea to have a small group. So for the 2-day event, 25 people max, but in some we have organized this camp 17 times. So there are almost 300 colleagues participating in our events worldwide. So we did not just have the opportunity to organize this event here in Hanover, where our headquarters is located, but we could also meet our colleagues in person who are working in other countries, and this personal contact and personal exchange was extremely valuable.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. I mean, 17, not bad. So you reached about 10% of the overall employee base here. And in retrospect, would you say 2025 is a good number, or would you go rather with less or more if you would have to do it again?
If we would have to do it again, maybe I would go with 20. Especially when it comes to the workshop, because we had little groups, and of course, the bigger the groups, the harder it's sometimes to handle. But 25 was still a good number. So we didn't change the concept, and also the number of attendees during these times, we didn't change it, because actually it worked pretty well.
Yeah, excellent. Now, next step. So you had the leaders, you had the leaders camp. We already learned that it was a very good idea. So they would also motivate people. They would basically look into that analytics is driven forward. And then you said you rolled out programs for the consumers. So more or less, I would say for everyone in the organization. What did you do there? What were your initiatives in that regard?
Yes, so for this year, it was our main goal to now focus on our analytics consumers or users. And we were thinking about also having an on-site event where we can make analytics very tangible. But as I said, we are a global company. It was very important for us that we organize a hybrid format of our festival. So what we did was we have organized a huge analytics summer festival in August at our headquarters in Hanover. We had one main stage with thrilling keynotes, etc., and also 5 other parallel stages where other topics and especially internal colleagues were presenting their products that are delivering and contributing to our goal of becoming insight-driven. In all of the sessions we saw here, we had about 25 speakers in some. They were also streamed live worldwide to our colleagues so that we could really have a joint event, which was taking place in Hanover, but also accessible to everyone around the world.
How many people did take part?
In Hanover on site, we were about 450 colleagues.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And the streaming was open worldwide, yes.
All right, but that's okay. That gives us a good idea. And so that's obviously know-how exchange, understanding what others do, learning from others. Also, obviously, a way to communicate strategy and so on. But I'm sure that's not the only thing that you're doing for your consumers.
No, of course not. I think that festival was very important to get a very broad awareness of the topics and see not only what will be actually our vision, but what is already in place today and what we are already working on today to make it more tangible. But of course, we are also supporting our consumers with, for example, workshops. If they would like to have an idea of how can we try to work out ideas for the analytics transformation or how can we profit from that. So we support with lots of workshops. Also, when people would like to learn a little bit more about our initiatives, we are always very happy to join team meetings and other meetings to just give a glimpse on our strategy. And additionally, we are also working on online trainings, for example, if someone is really wanting to learn more about the topic and even in more detail than, for example, on an event like that, we are also providing these to our colleagues to make sure that if someone would like to gain knowledge, you have the possibility to do so.
This training program, what does it encompass? Is it technical and, let's say, more business-driven, or what do you do there?
Starting with more business-driven and really understanding of AI and the evolution of AI to really have the possibility to understand what is narrow AI, then what is machine learning now, and how is Gen AI now to be put into the puzzle. So to really get a broad understanding of what has been happening in the last years and what is booming with the latest trends at the moment. But then also something like we do have our own chat at HDI, which is based on ChatGPT, but for the security reasons, we have our own solution here. So basically also trainings here, how to prompt and what to do, and some tips and tricks how to use chat at HDI effectively. So also here supporting our colleagues to get in touch with these technologies.
Excellent. Now let's take a look into the future. What's next? What's on your list? What are the next initiatives?
The next initiatives, are in planning now. I think one very important approach that we would like to focus on now is the topic of augmented analytics. So the question of how can we enrich the workflows that are already in place with analytics. So we will have formats with really closely with our businesses to really observe what are your decision-making processes, where do you need more insights, and how on the technical way can we implement these insights right where you need it, right? So the augmentation of workflows will be our next focus topic. And here also we will support our businesses, our different target groups with finding out what is important, how does the decision-making process look like, and how can we enrich it, and how can you benefit from, in this case, augmented analytics best. And this is, of course, where we will work out workshops and initiatives again to support this topic and this transformation again further.
Mm-hmm. So it's about improving operational business processes with analytics.
Yes, and especially the decision-making process, right? Because for us, analytics is a process that is enriching and improving your decision-making process so that you can either make a faster decision, a better qualified decision, and the decisions that our colleagues have to take have the best the best insights, the best information needed to make a good decision. And this is actually how we understand analytics here. So we really have to go into the details and see what does the decision-making process look like now? Is there room for improvement? And where can we enrich the decision-making process with augmented analytics to get either faster or better decisions here in place?
Excellent. Christiane, thanks so much. I think you did a lot and you give us really a great overview on your initiatives and how you drove analytical transformation at HDI. I think it was really good. We learned a lot. Maybe as a summary, if you can, maybe you could give your maybe final recommendation to anyone that's also in this process, that's also thinking about how can I support the transformation of my organization that's going on anyway. What are the key things or the key recommendations you have for these people?
Key recommendation would obviously be have a good technical setup with good skilled analytics professionals, but never forget about the, for example, transformation managers with a whole other skill set who have good knowledge in working with people, identifying their needs, seeing insecurity and knowing how to handle this. So I think it's as much important as the technical surroundings, that we have good skilled people in place who are accompanying the humans that should be in the loop. And yes, that would be my recommendation for everyone in this situation.
Excellent. Christiane, thanks so much. All the best to you on your further journey, this transformation journey.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.